Today, we're going to talk about how to hook a fish. Stay tuned.
How did I get here?
It's important to know how to properly hook a fish because each fish is a little bit different. You probably wondered when you are catching a small little panfish, or if you're going after a largemouth bass, how they sometimes bite differently. Sometimes there's nibbles, sometimes they take it, sometimes they're jumping out of the water, sometimes they're flying at 100 miles an hour and they steal it and they just like almost take you into the water. So when you hook it, certain fish have certain mouth types and they're also going in different directions. So for most fish, you want to make sure that your line is pretty much parallel with the water. And I like to put my finger on the line so I'm able to actually feel what's happening with my bait. When I'm reeling it in, or I'm using lures, or I'm using live bait, doesn't really matter. I still like to feel the line. So when you're hooking a fish and you feel it, you always want to get your rod nice and straight, and reel up a good percentage of your drag. If you have a lot of drag out, you want to reel in a good percentage of it so you can get the maximum amount of torque. Here comes the train. When that happens, reel it in, and then you come back to about 45 degrees. And that will be the end of your hook set. Reel it in, you come to right about here. It's a good solid hook set. You don't need to pull it, you don't need to rip its lips off, all that crap. We don't want to kill the fish, we want to hook it and then catch it, have our fun, or even take it home if we're planning to eat it. So if you find yourself like coming back here, you're in a danger zone. Like if you're at this is a 90 degrees, you're at danger zone. This is when you lose. This is the maximum amount of tension you can put on a fish. After this point, you think you're putting more by going back, but really, as you see, the line is going in the other direction. You're actually releasing some of the tension and then hitting it again on this side. When you get back here, you have a good chance of one, getting a lot of line out and losing your tension on the fish, which will allow it to shake the lure out or run around something like a bridge pylon and get you all hung up, and then you're screwed. So don't freak out when the fish bites. They're hungry, they like your presentation, they like the bait. You got a worm on here, they're almost gonna hook themselves. So just give it a little bit of tension and it will hopefully hook them in the roof of the mouth or in the lip. Now if you wait too long, like children may do, and you don't use a bobber, you might use a system like this with your your snell hook and a weight. Sometimes the fish will be eating that thing for a while, and by the time you feel it, it's going back home. And that thing is starting to be digested. Next thing you hook it, and it's stuck in the belly. But that will be our next conversation, where we talk about how to properly unhook a fish and how to grab one. So, other than that, this is the main way to go. Some people go to the side, they'll hook them to the side. That's really something you do if you're in a position in a boat where you can't go up. You don't want the lure to come out and fly back at you. That's be a problem. There's people behind you. You could go to the side and there's nobody that way, or you can go like that and there's somebody that way. But you're still doing your 0 to 45 degrees. If you're doing off a boat, you're down rigging, usually your rod's down like this. You're at the bottom of the boat and you're still doing the feel. You're waiting for that, I don't know, a flounder or a grouper or whatever the heck's down there. And it takes it and it's gonna almost point your rod straight down to, what is this, 270 degrees? I'm using all these mathematical terms here. And you still wanna do the same, you wanna do a little bit different. You don't wanna go 45 degrees when you hook it. Most likely you're gonna come up all the way to 0 again. This is the only way you would want to go a full 90 degrees on any axis to hook a fish, because when they're down there, it's usually you're fishing pretty deep, or you're fishing off a pier. You got 50 yards or maybe even more, 100, 200, 300 feet of line out, and there's some line stretch. when you have line stretch, you're gonna have to put on a little bit more weight, a little more tension on the fish. That extra 45 degrees totaling to 90 is enough to hook the fish if they're down in the deep. If you're fishing off a boat, you know, a charter fisherman, and you're like, oh man, there's some cod down there. You're gonna have to reel back, and you're like, oh god, I'm gonna have to reel this thing in. It's gonna take like 5 minutes. You're like, oh, but he hits it, and you come from here, and it's like, whoa, and you rip it right up to here. Stop. Do not go further. You might bend the hook, you might break the line, you might slap somebody in the face that's next to you, because sometimes those head boats have people like lined up here, here. Like there could be 6 people in between me and this camera right now, and that's not the kind of fishing I like to do. So now that you learned how to hook a fish, let's go over here and try it out.
Let's go. Let's go.